Mindy, we've talked with Dave Drevis, and we've looked at this week's Missouri polling for both president and governor. The pundits seem to already be writing their post-mortem accounts of this year's election. So it seems like a good time to bring out our next guest. He might just tell us not so fast across the board right here in Missouri. Missouri State Senator Scott Rupp is the head of the Senate's Majority Fund, fundraising. He represents the Senate's 2nd District, including parts of St. Charles and Lincoln counties. And Senator, you count among your responsibilities racing across the state trying to help Republican Senate candidates. Welcome to Midwest Talking Points.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for being here.
No problem.
Well, tell us, first of all, how are things looking across the state? A few weeks ago we had Senator Jeff Smith on, and he talked about the Democrats' chances. What are you seeing, and what key races are up in the Senate this year?
What you're going to see is, and I think probably if you look nationwide, this will be the only probably Republican state legislator that will pick up a seat. I firmly believe we will pick up a seat in the state Senate. And for this climate, that is fantastic.
Which one?
Well, number one, we're going to get the Chris Koster seat back over in Cass County. David Pierce.
He's a Democrat, right?
He's
Koster?
a Democrat,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah,
So we're getting that seat back. Great guy over there, State Representative David Pierce. He is very large in the polls, and he's going to do a great job. That will be our pickup seat right there.
And he's running against Chris Benjamin, who is a former chief of staff.
He's a Democrat.
He's a Democrat that used to be a Republican, and now's a Democrat.
Okay,
so
for our viewers who don't
Yeah.
maybe know who the candidate is.
It's hard to stay a Republican, I guess. Just, I don't know.
Over there, I guess it is.
This year.
But not in St. Charles County.
Not in St. Charles
Which is
County.
where you
I do represent St. Charles County. It's a great, great place to live. It's a very stronghold for Republicans. We are definitely going to turn the votes out for all of our candidates. It's something that we do in St. Charles County. We've been working very hard, but I've been focusing, like you said, most of the time on the Senate, traveling the state. Things look great. We got some seats here in St. Louis County. Jim Lemke, fantastic candidate. This guy is a rock star. He is that person that says, I'm independent, I'm going to do what I think is right. He tackles all the issues that maybe will upset people, but he said, this is what I believe in, and people are flocking to him because they want that leadership. They don't want someone who's just going to toe the party line. Jim Lemke will be another great pickup for us down in the
Jim Lemke is running against Joan Barry, and this is the 1st Senate district,
That is correct. That is correct. So that will be another pickup for us.
And that's an open seat.
That is correct.
Okay. So have you been spending a lot of time traveling around the state, and how is that juggling your schedule?
It's difficult to juggle it, but we do travel and go places we need to go and see people we need to talk to and raise money and support candidates and get down there and just try to help any way we can. And we look at this from a team approach, but the St. Louis region is so key for us. So we spend a lot of time and resources I have here. And then I have counterparts that are spending some time in Kansas City. So there's a group of us that are really kind of tackling the whole state because it's not one person can do it all, and we're taking this as a team approach.
Right.
It seems likely that the Republicans will maintain the majority in the Senate. Talk a little bit about what you envision the priorities for the Republican Senate in this upcoming session in the next 2 years.
Well, I think what we're going to do is we're going to have to just go back to our core conservative values of smaller government, more responsive government, lower taxes, job creation. Because the best social program ever invented is called the job. So we get more people back to work, higher paying wages, they can support their families, it makes the economy grow. That is how you grow your state. You don't tax it into prosperity. So I think we can return to those core principles, and that's what you're going to see us focus on. And that's where we're going to be putting most of our time and energy is economic development, job creation, and those core conservative principles.
It looks very likely at this point that Jay Nixon will be the next governor. How do you see the dynamic in the Senate changing with Nixon as governor instead of Governor Blunt?
I don't see the dynamic changing at all because we are there to represent the people and their values and their belief system, and we are going to continue to do that regardless who is on the second floor. We have our agenda, we have our belief system, and what we think is going to turn Missouri to prosperity and continue the prosperity we've had for the last 4 years. So we're going to have those issues, work on those. We just hope that whoever is in the governor's office will join with us to continue moving Missouri forward.
Senator, let me ask you, you represent most St. Charles out there, and our viewers are in St. Charles and also in Illinois. One of the things that's been interesting in the last decade is to watch the sort of migration. People have moved out from the center of the city in St. Louis County into St. Charles. Mm-hmm. You've seen school districts change almost overnight in terms of the population. You've seen infrastructure challenges. Talk a little bit about how St. Charles is adjusting to being a real suburban county as opposed to more rural a decade or two ago?
Well, the thing that we've done is that we didn't try to fight the growth, and that's the first thing. You see it coming, you know it, you have to plan for it. You have to say, it's coming, how are we going to deal with the infrastructure needs? How are our schools going to deal with this? So we kind of watched other communities, and as they grew, we kind of took what worked, what didn't work, and we planned together for it. Some communities want to bury their head in the sand and pretend it's not going to happen, then all of a sudden they have huge problems. We saw it happening, we said we need to plan for this, and we did, and it is a fantastic community. We went out and recruited nationwide companies like MasterCard there in Winghaven, some great organizations to come in. St. Charles County is a great place to live, work, and play.
I agree. As a St. Charles native myself, I echo that very much. Lewis and Clark, first state capital. But, you know, do you see with the population shifts in St. Charles, the political dynamic changing with voters?
Not with voters, because I think people flock to St. Charles County because of the values and the belief systems that we have. You know, we want to raise our families, we want to have good quality infrastructure, but we don't want government telling us what to do. We don't want them overtaxing us. Just allow us to raise our families, go to work, be happy, have a piece of the American dream, and I think that's what St. Charles County is.
A little bit of a gotcha question, but Mindy knows I like these. So do you support metro expansion to St. Charles?
I promote anything that does good economic development for St. Charles County and the St. Louis region.
Well, does metro expansion do that? I don't know. I'm asking you.
Does that help connect people together?
I believe that one of the biggest concerns that St. Charles County has is that we are a bedroom community. And we see some of our small businesses not being able to hire the workforce, and that they pay them an exorbitant amount of money because of gas prices, and it tends to be the house prices have shot up over the last years. So I think affordable housing and some type of maybe mass transit to get the workers to the jobs in St. Charles County is key, and I view that as an economic development tool.
Now, you have a financial background. Tell us a little bit about how you see the whole economic situation playing out here in Missouri and nationally.
Well, I think what you've seen is Missouri, whenever there is a recession, we're usually last into the recession. Now, the flip side of that is we're usually last out of the recession. So what we need to continue to do is focus on job development and job creation. If our budget does start to turn to the negative, it will be because less people are working and maybe they're not being paid as high wages. So getting people to work, getting people paid more so that they can create their own family, their own infrastructure, and spend money in the community, that's how we grow it. And I think Missouri will not be nearly affected as some of the surrounding states or even on the coastal regions because of the good workforce we have here in Missouri.
Senator, we're almost out of time. In a few moments, we're going to take a look at an ad from the Kinder campaign and also from the Page campaign, this Lieutenant Governor's. Give us your take in 20 words or less. Who wins that race?
Peter Kinder wins that race.
How close is it?
4 or 5.
Really? Okay. I like your optimism. Thanks for being on with us.
Thanks so much for your time.
We appreciate it.
With recent polling data showing the governor's race with Jay Nixon having a very big lead, Ed and I will turn our attention this week to the lieutenant governor's race instead. We'll look at 2 recent ads, one from incumbent Lieutenant Governor Peter Kinder and one from Democratic challenger Representative Sam Page, when we return with more Midwest Talking Points.